Good morning and welcome everyone. My name is Liz Rydell and I'm the National Director of the SIFMA Foundation. And on behalf of the SIFMA Foundation, New Day, and the Georgie Badiel Foundation, we are thrilled you are joining us this morning for our first session of our Sustainability Influencers series with Georgie Badiel to celebrate World Water Day. The next hour will be informative, engaging, memorable as we discuss issues surrounding clean water, women empowerment, sustainable investing, and ways that you can get involved. We're going to go ahead and get started with a short overview of World Water Day.
Good morning and happy World Water Day, everyone. I'm Melanie Mortimer, president of the SIFMA Foundation. The SIFMA Foundation is dedicated to providing financial education to individuals of all backgrounds with a focus on underserved youth. Through our flagship program, the Stock Market Game, we've enabled 20 million students an opportunity to prepare for their financial futures and learn about the capital markets. I am delighted to welcome you all to the inaugural session of the SIFMA Foundation Sustainability Influencer Series in partnership with New Day Investing. Today, we are featuring a conversation with activist Georgie Badiel. The SIFMA Foundation Sustainability Influencer Series brings together leaders in environmental conservation, social activism, and youth engagement to discuss our shared responsibility to the global community and how investment choices can be a catalyst for positive change. World Water Day celebrates how people value water for all its uses. What does this have to do with the Stock Market Game and the SIFMA Foundation? Well, that's easy. 3 years ago, New Day and the SIFMA Foundation partnered to bring impact investing to youth across the country. Together, we set up an ESG index of sustainable stocks so students can invest in line with their values. So some examples of this in the stock market game for those who are already invested in their stock market game portfolios. You might look at Whirlpool Corporation, which is ticker symbol WHR, or Ecolab, which is ECL. There's also American Waterworks, AWK. Just a few examples of how you can celebrate and reflect World Water Day in your stock market game portfolios. The SIFMA Foundation has been so pleased to partner with New Day in a variety of ways. New Day is an investing platform that's so innovative, it allows users to invest in initiatives that matter, including climate action, ocean health, animal welfare, and more. And so for our stock market game students, when you finish your school and you get on to the point of making your own personal investments, you may take a look at this as a great resource for yourself. There's loads of information on the New Day website as well, and I think something that can be beneficial to all of us. And so now I would be remiss if I didn't take a moment to welcome our next speaker, CEO of New Day, Doug Heskey. Doug, let me hand it over to you.
Great. Good morning, Melanie. Thank you for the warm introduction. I am so pleased to be a part of the SIFMA Impact Influencer Series. And I can't imagine a better way to inaugurate this event than on the 28th anniversary of World Water Day. I'm just going to share with you my screen here so that we can begin talking specifically about a bit about the impact work that we pursue here at New Day. 28 years later, we still recognize the importance of a resource that oftentimes we take for granted, yet it is a resource that all life on our planet depends on. And while for many it is abundant, for many it is not. Water is life. There is nothing that is more fundamental. Before we turn to the issue of water on this very important day, I'd like to say a few words about the importance of our collaborative work with the SIFMA Foundation and the National Stock Market. As many of you have likely recognized, there's been a big focus within the capital markets over the past few years on ESG, or environmental, social, and governance investing. In fact, 2020 shattered all previous records, having attracted more than $51 billion of investment dollars into the space. And this is for very good reason. ESG, which focuses on companies that demonstrate favorable environmental, social, and governance characteristics, outperform those companies that don't, as measured by their operating performance and the financial performance of their common stock. It may also include screening out companies that might be characterized as having business practices that are not responsible. New Day's involvement in the national stock market game came about as a result of the determination that we, all of us, must be doing more to find solutions to these seemingly intractable problems. And that by owning these companies in our investment portfolios, we can generate alpha, or additive returns, above what a stock index might deliver. After all, making good investments is about selecting great companies, and great companies are most often ones that are responsible members of our corporate community. They don't pollute, and they take care of the stakeholders in the community, like their customers, their employees, and suppliers. New Day's work is to identify which companies fall into this classification and why, and we invest our clients' investment dollars into these companies. New Day has furnished a list of these companies to the national stock market game, as Melanie Mortimer previously identified, for the past 3 years. Over the last few years, I have had, with my colleagues, an opportunity to speak to countless students, both in high school and college, who have conveyed their concerns about our changing planet. Many have expressed concerns over species extinction, ocean plastic pollution, and global warming, to name a few. I, along with them and all of you, don't like this narrative that we're living in today. Young people have expressed that there's not enough that's being done, and that all of us must be doing more to find solutions to these seemingly intractable problems. My own kids expressed that it doesn't seem like it's a hard thing to do if we work together. They are the gatekeepers of all things environmental in our house, and they keep me on the straight and narrow. I will share with you, like I have with them, that I am confident that your generation's biggest accomplishment will be in building better solutions that not only allow our world to survive, but thrive. Your generation is our inspiration at New Day, and I am inspired every day by what I hear. I am inspired by your work and your eagerness to make change. I am inspired by your will to make change, not just with your words, but with action. I have heard from students that they are inspired also by our work, that we have brought hope to them, that there are people, leaders and companies, that are truly trying to make a difference. And while we do at New Day inspire others because of our work, the real truth of the matter is that you have brought us hope that there is something more promising on the horizon. Our work is not just about imagining a world that's free of poverty, hunger, and disease, and where all life can thrive fear and violence, a world with universal literacy, equitable access to quality education and healthcare and social protections, but our work is about doing something about it. And it is for this reason that we are here today. Our story began with a question. What is the impact that we could have if we were able to unleash your generation's vigor for deep and lasting change by providing a mechanism for engagement that's more grassroots, allowing everyone, allowing all of you to share your collectivized desire to change the world? And this brings us to the work that we pursue at New Day. We spend a lot of time understanding how companies use water in their business, whether their businesses are responsible stewards of water, and what companies are developing truly innovative technologies to protect and conserve the resource, as well as provide it to so many that don't have it. Water plays a critical role in every business in the world. And the next wave of leading technology companies will be innovators in water. New Day runs 2 investment strategy portfolios that focus on water. One is our clean water and sanitation strategy. The other is an ocean health strategy. We also furnish our index, as we said, to the national stock market game, and there are many companies that support water in both of those portfolios and in the index. Not only does New Day build investment portfolios that direct capital to public companies that are truly making a difference, but we partner with nonprofit organizations in an effort to amplify their message, expand awareness for the incredible work that they're doing, and also to help them raise capital for the cause that they're pursuing. One of our key partnerships in supporting this, in supporting the cause of clean water and sanitation, is the Georgie Badiel Foundation. It is my distinguished honor to be able to introduce my friend and colleague, Georgie Badiel. I'd like to share a few things about Georgie before I give her the stage, but please note that anything I say will pale in comparison to Georgie's story that she tells in her own words. Georgie and I met almost a year ago. I was immediately captivated, not just by her character, but by all that she's accomplished for her home country of Burkina Faso. Georgie is the former Miss Burkina Faso, Miss Africa. She is a supermodel, an author, a chef, and most importantly, a social entrepreneur. She has brought clean water and sanitation services to more than 270,000 people in her home country and countless jobs to women all across her country who are working as engineers, repairing wells, and other things. Interviewing Georgie today is Ariel Granger. I'd like to turn things back to Liz Rydell for an introduction to Ariel and to kick off today's session.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Doug, for this amazing introduction. I couldn't add anything more to that. It's such an honor to partner with New Day. And happy World Water Day, everyone. It's an exciting day today for all of us that have been fighting to provide clean drinking water to those in need and also protect the ocean. As Doug said, I am Georgie Badiel, Liberty. I'm from Burkina Faso. And the reason why I started the Georgie Badiel Foundation was because of the crucial need of access to clean drinking water for the people of my country, Burkina Faso. So this is where it actually starts. You will hear my dog drinking water, so I'm sorry for that. You see, water, this is how water is important. So as a young girl, I used to walk 3 hours to fetch water with my grandmother. And fetching water wasn't something that I liked. So she'll come in the morning at 6 a.m. She'll knock at the door. Georgie, let's go get water. So we walked 3 hours to bring water home. And I was blessed. I was fortunate to become Miss Burkina Faso and Miss Africa. After that, I went to Paris to start an international modeling career. And at some point of my life, I felt that something was missing inside of me, but I didn't know what it was. One thing that I knew for sure is I was blessed. I have access to clean drinking water. I have food. I have access to every single thing that I wanted. And I went back home to visit my sister, who was almost 9 months pregnant. And my sister had to wake up between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. to get water. That is in that moment that it hit me so hardly to see that women still have to do this. When I was young, we used to do that. And now, as a woman, my sister have to do it. That's when I knew I had to stand up and start making a difference in the water world. I will open this to the interview with Elizabeth. I think that would be easier.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Georgie. We're so excited to learn more, and we have the perfect student to ask you questions. And I'm thrilled to introduce Ariel Granger. She's a 9th grader at Northside Charter School in Brooklyn, New York. She participated in the stock market game in 7th grade and applied her investment education to our InvestWrite essay competition. She's the perfect choice to interview you, as her understanding of sustainable companies was remarkably demonstrated in her essay submission, leading to the honor of placing first place in the nation, as well as New York State, during our spring 2019 competition. We have a really cute video we want to show you before she kicks it off with some more questions for you.
Let's go to Brooklyn now, and a big honor for a 7th grader who is being recognized as the winner of a nationwide essay contest. Ariel Granger says she was shocked that her financial plan for how companies can protect the ozone layer beat out thousands of students across the nation. This is the first time ever that a New York City middle school student won the Securities Industry and Financial Markets Association InvestWrite competition. The Parkside Preparatory Academy student was honored Monday at a surprise assembly where her name was announced.
I was really surprised. I really didn't think this would happen. I still think this is all a joke. This is really surprising. I worked really hard. It was fun.
Granger won school supplies, a pizza party for her class, and a 2-day trip to the New York City stock market. Congratulations to her.
Ariel, are you joining us?
Hi, I'm here.
Excellent.
Oh, wow. Congratulations, Ariel.
Thank you very much.
Oh, wow. You look amazing. You look amazing. Great job.
Thank you.
So Ariel, before we kick off your questions for Georgie, we're going to start off with Georgie's video that gives a great overview of her foundation and what she does.
Okay.
As you know, Georgie has a successful career as an international model, but she hasn't forgotten how she used to walk miles for water in Burkina Faso. Clean water is critical because every minute a child dies of water-related disease. The water crisis is the #1 global risk based on impact of society, according to the World Economic Forum. But children cannot be educated if they're spending all their time fetching water. That's what's motivating her to start the Georgie Badiel Foundation. And with all the good things she's accomplished in her career, she's in a unique position to make a difference.
Wow! Thank you, God. We are so grateful.
When Georgie came to me and she said, "I'm going to do something for my country," I said, yeah, I heard that. I hear so many people. She said, no, I have an idea. I said, fine, let's make a meeting. You come and we talked for hours. I saw the enthusiasm in her voice. She had a plan. She had the little notes. She had an idea. So I took a few people off my staff and I said, we're going to help her. Let's call some people. Let's get things done for her, because this is a good thing we're doing.
Today, there are so many children around the world who are dying every single day just for drinking dirty water. 80% of the population in Burkina Faso do not have access to clean water. The Georgie Badiel Foundation wants to focus on building wells and sanitation in villages in Africa, and Burkina Faso, my country, where I'm from. And we also want to plant trees. Why plant trees? Because the country is dry and people need food. That's the reason why I created the foundation, and I wanted to thank each of you, for being here.
Go ahead, George, or go ahead, Ariel.
Okay. Hi, Georgie.
Ariel, it's so nice to be interviewed by you.
It's so nice to meet you. I've heard so much. I've done so much research on you. And I saw your video about you reading your book, The Water Princess. I loved it so much. So very much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I can't wait to meet you in person, and I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. Okay, so in the video, I saw that you were it seems like you're very close to all the people from your homeland. I saw you taking pictures with like all the school children and all the people. So are you still very connected to them?
Yeah, so basically on this specific video, it was my father and my mother village. You saw that on one village, we were building a well, we drilled and the water burst from the ground. And a woman say in that video, "Ni nemole shiden," which means that look at the water is bursting from the ground. It's like water is coming. So that was in my father village. So all the kids you saw around me were my cousins. All of them.
Cousins?
All of them were my cousin family. It's like there is 5,000 people in my father village. So imagine it's 5,000 cousins. It's a big family. And on the second village where you saw that there were the brown water. So that was my grandmother village. Yeah, that was before we built the well. That was the water actually we have access to before we built a well there. So everyone you saw on that video was like my aunts, my cousins. It was family basically.
Oh, all right. So it's all one big happy family.
Exactly. It's one big happy family. But as a Burkinabe woman, I am very close to every community we work with. As Doug mentioned before, I was Miss Burkina Faso before leaving the country. So even when I was Miss Burkina Faso, I was doing a lot of caritative work. So I would go to villages, I'll meet people, would bring them donations of different things. But to be honest with you, I wasn't really, when I was Miss Burkina Faso, I didn't know how water was something that I should have actually focused on until it hit me with my sister.
Wow. So what's the story? What's the full story behind that, actually? So you went to go visit them and you found your sister still going out to get water?
Yes. So my sister actually, she was almost 9 months pregnant. So imagine a pregnant woman ready to give birth soon. who have to wake up between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. to get water. Yeah.
I can't imagine. There are people here that have never skipped leg day in their lives and won't even walk half the distance that they have to.
So that is when I was like, I have to do something. I have to make a difference in the water world, because this is not right. If we used to do that when we were a kid, my sister had to do that with older. I mean that the old generation will be doing it from generation to generation. So someone need to stand up. Someone need to come in and make a difference in the issue. Otherwise, it would stay the same.
So is that where you got your idea for the foundation? Is that where the inspiration for the foundation came from?
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, as a kid, as I said, I used to do it, but it really didn't kind of like strike me, or I was complaining as a child. I will tell my grandmother, I don't want to wake up. I'm not a morning person, so that was for sure. Like, I don't want to wake up. Don't wake me up. I don't want to go get water. So as a kid, it's something that I never liked. And now, me going back after a big success like Miss Burkina Faso, Miss Africa, going to becoming an international model, traveling the world, living the best life. I go back home. I have to watch my sister wake up between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. to get water. That was like a big no.
The biggest wake-up call ever.
The biggest wake-up call ever, yes.
What are some of the methods that the foundation uses to help bring water back to your community?
So to me, it's very important to sustain what we do. When we started the Georgie Badiel Foundation, I would go to villages and I will see in places where they have a well, but the well is broken. Women and young girls still have to walk 3 hours, 4 hours, even more sometimes, to get water for their family. And the biggest question was, why don't you fix it? The answer was, we don't know how to fix it. But how can you not know how to fix it? It's like water is like the biggest value you guys have. It's like the most crucial thing you guys have. How can you not know how to fix it? So basically, the wells and many wells, over almost 10,000 broken wells we have in Burkina Faso. And this well was built by generous people, but no one actually thought of giving the knowledge to the people on how to restore and maintain this well. We have 10,000 broken wells, almost 10,000 broken wells in Burkina Faso. So far, we fixed, I think, 115. We have a long way to go.
A long way indeed.
Yes.
Okay, so okay, I have to wish you Happy World Water Day.
Thank you.
I should have started with that actually.
Happy World Water Day to you as well.
What does World Water Day mean to you, and how does its importance reflect in your day-to-day life?
Yeah. So to me, I would say World Water Day is to make action. To me, that is what is a reminder for the whole world to know and to remember that water is the most valuable thing we have as human beings. There is nothing we can do without water. It's impossible. What can you do without water? So what water did to me mean take action.
Is that what you were trying to do when you wrote The Water Princess? Were you trying, was The Water Princess your way of taking action or spreading awareness?
Both of them, spreading awareness and taking in action. So I decided to share the water, my story, to make a difference. The Water Princess is not like a fun story. It's a child complaining, why is the water so far? Why is the water not clean? Where is our water? So I wanted to share that to raise awareness on the water crisis, and also use my story to make a difference in young kids' life, because there are so many young girls today that can't go to school because they have to help their mothers fetch water, bring water home, so they can use it for cooking, they can use it for drinking, etc., etc. So that was the purpose of sharing my story, was to make a difference in these kids' life.
It's so unfortunate that little girls can't go to school because they're busy helping their mothers get water. That's very unfortunate.
It's very unfortunate, yes. And the Water Princess, the main goal of the Water Princess is to break that cycle, is to break it, is to make it, is to change it. I want a new world for these young girls. I want a world where they have access to education, they have access to a better future, a better life.
What are some things that the kids here that don't know about the struggles from the kids from Bermuda Faso can do to help in this effort?
The Georgie Badiel Foundation work with like over 50 schools across America, and sometimes I am amazed to see how actually young kids, I would say, respond better when they read The Water Princess. They will read it first, they will be like, that's interesting. They will read it another time again, they'll be like, that's interesting. Then they read it the third time, they're like, no, mommy, I have to make a difference. Because there is a lot of young kids that don't have access to clean drinking water. So I would say that Susan Verde, who wrote the book, somehow managed to pass by the message perfectly. Yeah, so I would say thank you to all these young kids out there that have been, fighting to bring clean water to Burkina Faso, because without them, I would say that we would have achieved so much. So thank you. And I encourage this one that don't know that some kids are struggling across the world, across Burkina Faso, for clean water, to take a look at it and make a difference if they can.
So thank you to all the kids who are trying to help. It is very appreciated. Yes. What are some things that other people can do to assist in this effort? Not just kids, but people who are aware of the fact that not everyone has access to clean water. What can they do to help and spread awareness?
I would say do what you can. They can do a fundraising event, they can share it on social media, they can talk about it, they can volunteer. They can go to Africa and volunteer. They can volunteer directly from here. There is so much they can do.
Okay, I have to go back to your book, The Water Princess, really quickly because I really loved it so much. So, personal question I have to ask. What was your favorite part in writing the Water Princess?
My favorite part, my favorite part on the book is when we're playing.
Yes.
When when we like I walk with mama, and then we get to the well, and mama hold our place, and I play with my friends. That is my favorite part. The hardest part of it was, of course, coming back. You like thinking on your head, like my shoulders, and my feet are cramp, my shoulders ache. I see all my lights. You feel thirsty. You're like, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. Like, I've been walking for 3 hours. Like, I need a glass of water. It's hot. So
really
that was
hard.
the hardest part. And waking up too in the morning was another one. I didn't want to. So, but yeah, the best one was when we get to the well. I get to see my friends, we play, we have a great time, and Yes.
Thank you so much, Georgie, for joining us this morning. And I think also the students who are on the call, participating in the stock market game and learning about the tools about saving and investing and let your money work for you so you can support causes like Georgie's is so important. So again, Georgie, we are so thrilled that you were able to join us today. And Melanie Mortimer, our president, is going to close out with some additional ways that students and other attendees on the call can support us. But again, Georgie, we're so thrilled that you were able to join us today.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you to the SIFMA Foundation. Thank you to New Day. And it was an honor to be a part of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Georgie Badiel. What an amazing, amazing insight to your personal story, the path that you've taken in your life, and how you've been able to balance a career and all of your passions, continuing your education, and a cause that gives to not just the people in your family, but the people in your country, and now the people around the world. Thank you for sharing your story. You're such an inspiration. I also want to thank your colleague, Suzanne Rotundo and the Georgie Badiel Foundation for a wonderful kickoff to the SIFMA Foundation Sustainability Influencer Series. We can't imagine it having gone any better, and really, truly, you've put in a lot of time and effort to make this happen. So we just can't wait to see what happens a year from now or years from now when we've grown together and really expanded on what we're doing. And thank you, Ariel Granger, for your excellent interview questions, uplifting today's theme and today's guest speaker. Clearly, Ariel, there's absolutely nothing you can't do, and we're going to keep our eye on you as well. Doug Heskey and your New Day team, we really appreciate your partnership. It continues to blossom and bring exciting opportunities to the teachers and students that the SIFMA Foundation works with. So thank you, and again, looking forward to more opportunities in the future. I also want to highlight my colleagues, Liz Rydell, Sarah Bryant, and the many others who have contributed to making this event possible, and also harken back to last week when we had our Instagram live between Sarah and Georgie. If you haven't been a part of that, you can find it on our website, stockmarketgame.org. And of course, thanks to all of our stock market game teachers for persevering through a very challenging school year and investing in your students' participation in the stock market game and in joining today's program. We know it hasn't been easy. We feel for you, and we are really flattered and honored that you've chosen to be a part of the stock market game experience and the SIFMA Foundation family. So we hope you all enjoyed the kickoff of today's event. We invite you to our next session on the blue economy with Philippe Cousteau Jr. on April 8th. And meantime, this is just a first step of our World Water Day journey together. We are going to encourage you to continue learning about sustainability, World Water Day, and the Georgie Badiel Foundation at georgiebadielfoundation.org. For more information about New Day's impact work and also resources on things like water conservation and impact investing, visit newdayimpact.com. And of course, I can't go without saying that to participate in the stock market game, if you're not doing so already, you can find us at www.stockmarketgame.org. Now, as we officially close today's session, let me remind you all to please keep investing in yourselves, in your community, in causes you care about, and of course, in your future. Thank you so much from all of us at the SIFMA Foundation. We hope you have a delightful afternoon and a fabulous World Water Day. Thank you.